So these shapes that are popping are kind of, you know, suspended in air almost, and that's what I kind of wanted. That dark blue purple line on the side, on the far right over here, I'm going to probably get rid of that in the next step and just see if the dark blue on top and the dark blue at the bottom kind of can work together just by themselves. So I decided this is going to be a landscape painting. I don't think it could be anything else at this point. There's a lot of colors that exist in nature going around. There don't seem to be many faces popping out or what could be figures of any kind. They're just amorphous floating blobs right now. See a lot of that in nature. So this is a landscape, not a portrait. It's placed vertically, so that's unusual, but I think it's still going to work. So we just have to make sure that it's a good composition. And it looks like we're staring into a field or a forest or whatever we think it's going to end up looking like. So I mixed up this yellow again, and I'm trying to make it, I'm trying to give it a stronger presence and take it over the top of this lavender. Right now, all the lavender is going over on top of that pale yellow. And this is a different shade of yellow, but it's going to trick the viewer's eye anyway. It's sort of going to blend it, make it all blend together, but I'm taking it over the lavender. I want some of it on top of the lavender so it doesn't look like all of that lavender is being pushed forward and it's just lying on a different plane in front of that yellow. So yeah, you know, just in a few places, doesn't have to be a lot. And I've also decided to get rid of this blue streak on the side. I don't think it's working well. I think these two blue shapes, which are pretty much the same color, can work together by themselves. So we're going to start taking that away. But should I leave some at the bottom? I don't know. We can leave it for now. Just a little blue stripe at the bottom. Because who knows, we might need something in that corner. We don't want it to be too empty down there. And things are sort of starting to, you know, to recede and jump forward. The red is definitely jumping forward, but I might get rid of that altogether, who knows. But there's more than a few layers on this paper right now, so it's really creating some nice depth. That might be too much of that cadmium yellow. It's a warmer yellow than what I had before, so I'll try mixing more white into the next one. So I'm going to do another yellow. So I actually like these two dark shapes that are sort of up in this corner here. And I want to kind of do something more to them. All right, so I want to kind of almost take notice of them again, and just recognize the fact that they're still there and they look cool, and but now they're starting to disappear because we've got all these layers of yellow and lavender sort of going over them. So we're going to bring it forward again and sort of try to suggest that there's something going on there, some kind of an event, or even something that's alive, just by using a few little squiggly marks with this dark navy blue, sort of purplish. I tried to match this color again, but it's looking a little more purple. But it's pretty close, so again, cousins of colors is always a good idea. So just a little squiggly mark going over and around this blue area. Maybe that was a little much because you can't really see what was under there, but that's okay. We're going to turn it into something else. Take out the bigger brush to sort of get rid of some of those little lines. I want that shape right there to be solid, not have too much going on in the interior. I just like the darkness of it and its captivating quality. So I'm adding a little more of these squiggly marks. You know, it's good to suggest, you know, multiple happenings of the same event. I don't know if that's the word to use, but multiple appearances of the same thing happening, sort of suggesting, you know, a bunch or a swarm of whatever it could be. It could be an animal, it could be a group of vines or whatever, but maybe there's some going around. No, I'm gonna leave that the way it is. I like that. I actually think I'm gonna keep it for as long as I can anyway, but good. So now this new blue is interacting with that old blue, so that's good. It's good to bring attention to things that we were painting earlier, so bring the attention back to them. And it's just all sort of a way to, like, you know, kind of play with the viewer's mind a little bit. You want them to think, what the heck was going on when he did that? I want to make sure my line work isn't too straight or too diagonal. It's, you know, squiggly is the best thing I can do at this point. Squiggly always works, and I'm holding the end of the brush, of course, trying to stay loose. Yeah, not much of that is what I wanted down there, but we'll keep it. Back at it again with the lavender. I'm just gonna, you know, bring it over the lavender I had before, right on top of it. And that's just, you know, the same thing I was doing with the yellow. So now some of the yellow's on top of the lavender, some of the lavender is on top of that yellow. Now I'm putting more of the lavender on top of the yellow again. So that's, you know, that's a way of just squashing the space almost. Still trying to confuse you. That's too dark. some drips. Too many drips is not good, so we're not going to overdo it, but you can barely see them anyway. So. Alright, so we're going to have to bring this dark blue back because he's got to stay. You just can't get rid of him yet. So I did lighten up that lavender like I said I would. I stuck to my word. And that's just another layer that we can play with. There could be hundreds of layers on this painting, just depending on what it needs for it all to work. And now that lavender is going in front of things, it's going behind things again. I'm just trying to confuse the space. And it's peering down here for some ungodly reason. I had some of my dark navy blue still left over, so it's still usable. And this shape up here, this dark shape, is still there, so it's kind of creating a circular effect. So I'm going to kind of accentuate that, or, well, I don't know. What's the word? Bring more attention to it. Give it some life again, and it's going to jump on top of that lavender with a few interesting. It's got a lot of movement to it, that little shape, and it's got it's you can't say it's not three-dimensional because it's got this is dark parts of it, and then this light sort of a more cobalt blue. Used a lot of that cobalt blue in that one. And that's a nice little abstract shape right there. It's going to fit in nicely against the lavender. I mean, it already is, but of course I'm going to add some more lavender again in the future. Sticking with my lavender, sticking with my lemon yellow. The reds, he's probably going to go soon, so maybe in the next part. So this very cool blue, see where else I can put it. Maybe grab a bigger brush. Let me bring more depth to this guy right here. Yeah, kind of, he's doing all right by himself for now anyway. Ooh. So, a little too much water in this batch right here. It's a little transparent, but I do like the color. The shade of blue.